friends, we're back with another math outreach lesson. Today is Thursday on the box method. The materials you're going to need today are your outreach packet and your writing utensils again. We're not going to go over the do now page on here. That's kind of reviewing the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lessons, so make sure you review that and complete it before watching this video, so that way you are properly set up for today's lesson. All right. So yesterday we learned how to multiply any polynomial using distribution. Today we're going to learn another important method for our toolkit. Because I know distribution can be kind of annoying and crazy, and so we're going to learn a way that I personally prefer to multiplying polynomials. So since we use FOIL to multiply two binomials, we need a method also to multiply any polynomials, and this is called the box method. So before we learn it, I just want to say that it's similar to how we do Punnett squares in science, where you have something on top to represent the father's genes, the mother's genes, and then you're going to multiply, basically. You're writing them together in the boxes. So you'll see it's a very similar process to that, and it actually makes our lives a lot easier because we're breaking down each of the polynomials. And like I said, if you were super frustrated yesterday by the distribution we did, and I definitely know us, and I definitely know some of us were very frustrated with all the terms we were working with, this method is really going to help you. So let's go ahead and go through the box method. So we're going to use the same example that we did yesterday to learn how to use distribution of polynomials. So we have x plus 2 times x squared minus 4x plus 3. And so the first thing I'm going to do is break each of these into two different parts. I'm basically separating each of my binomial and trinomials into parts. So I'm breaking x in 2, and then I have a trinomial that's x squared minus 4x and 3. And so because I have two terms and three terms, I'm going to create a box. And this box is a 3 by 2 box, since I have three terms and two terms in our polynomials. As of right now, this still might not make sense to you. Once we kind of fill in the box, it's going to make a little bit more sense. All right. So now we're going to write each of these terms along each section of the box. So you will see here, I have my binomial x and 2. I always write the first term vertically on the box. So I write it like going up and down. I wrote x and 2, that's the binomial, and then I wrote the trinomial along the top, x squared minus 4x and 3. All right, so now we're just going to multiply together using the pieces of my box. So you'll see here I have x and x squared. I'm going to multiply those two together to get x and x times x squared. I'm going to do the same with x and negative 4x. You'll see here I have a negative sign here to remember I need to be using my correct signs in my answers. So I have x times negative 4x, and then I have x times 3, and then I have, in this next row, 2 times x squared, and then I have 2 times negative 4x, and then I have 2 times 3. So ideally, we're going to do this all in the same box. You'll need to draw like 5 different boxes. I'm just kind of breaking it down and showing the steps. So I'm going to simplify the multiplication from this box and write it in here for right now. So x times x squared is going to get me x cubed. X times negative 4x gets me negative 4x squared. X times 3 gets me 3x. 2 times x squared gets me 2x squared. 2 times negative 4x gets me negative 8x. And 2 times 3 gets me 6. So now I'm just going to take all these terms in the box, my simplified final answers, and add them together using addition. I'm just going to add all the pieces together. It's kind of like when we use tape diagrams. We put each of the piece in tape diagram, and then we knew we'd always combine using addition. We're going to do the same thing here, making sure you're looking at these certain signs that are going to change. So now I have x cubed plus negative 4x squared plus 3x plus 2x squared plus negative 8x plus 6. So you'll see I already identified some of my like terms, so I'm going to go ahead and simplify for my final step, where I get x cubed plus negative 2x squared, because I'm taking negative 4x squared and adding positive 2, plus negative 5x, because I have negative 8x and adding a positive 3, and then plus that 6. All right, my friends, we're going to go and do a full example that's going to maybe make a little bit more sense than these broken down pieces. So this first round, we're going to use the box method to multiply the polynomials. I have a binomial of 5x minus 3 and a trinomial of 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 1. So like I said, I'm writing the pieces on the box first. So I have my second trinomial. I said I'm always putting the second one on top and the first one on the side. So I have 5x minus 3 on the side, and then my trinomial 2x cubed negative 5x squared minus 1. So now I'm going to go ahead and just multiply across in each row to get my final terms. So I have 5x times 2x cubed and that's going to simplify to 10x to the fourth. Now I have 5x times negative 5x squared, and I'm going to get negative 25x cubed. Then I have 5x times negative 1. I'm going to get negative 5x. So now I have my first row done. I have distributed this 5x to each piece of my trinomial at this point. So now I have negative 3 times 2x cubed. That's going to be negative 6x cubed. Negative 3 times negative 5x squared. I have positive 15x squared, and negative 3 times negative 1 gets me positive 3. Now I've distributed this negative 3 to each term in my trinomial. So now let's look at all of our final answers. I have 10x to the fourth, negative 25x to the third, negative 5x, negative 6x squared, 15x squared, negative 6x cubed, 15x squared, and 3. So all these final answers, I'm going to go ahead and add them together to create our new expression now that I've multiplied them together. So I have 10x to the fourth, negative 25x cubed, negative 5x, negative 6x cubed, 15x squared, and 3. All right, so my final step here is now to simplify. So you can see I have 2x cubes, and that's really it. Everything else is by itself. So I'm going to have 10x to the fourth plus 31x cubed plus 15x squared plus negative 5x plus 3. Remember to write in ascending order, which means I'm going from greatest to least exponent. All right, we're going to do one more problem all together to really understand this box method. All right, so here we're leveling up a bit.
Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
And we're going to multiply two trinomials together. It might seem intimidating, but with the box method, it's really not that hard. We're just adding another term, which means we're adding another row to our box that we're multiplying. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and write my first term down the side. I have negative x squared, 2x, and negative 7. And then I'm going to go ahead and write my second polynomial across the top where I have 4x squared minus 2x and 7. So now we're getting into it. We're going to go ahead and multiply our first row. We're distributing negative x squared to each of the terms in the second polynomial. So negative x squared times 4x squared gets me negative 4x to the fourth. Negative x squared times negative 2x gets me positive 2x to the third. Negative x squared times 7 is going to get me negative 7x squared. All right, so now I've distributed negative x squared to each of the terms in my trinomial. Moving on to the next row where we're going to distribute 2x basically to each of those terms here using the box. So 2x times 4x squared gets me 8x cubed. 2x squared minus 2x gets me negative 4x squared. And 2x times 7 will get us 14x. Remember, you can always pause this video if I'm moving a little bit too fast for you, so you can write down the terms as we go. All right, finally, we're going to distribute this negative 7 to each of the terms in my trinomial by using this last row of my box where I have negative 7 times 4x, and we get negative 28x squared. Negative 7 times negative 2x, we get 14x, positive 14x this time. And negative 7 times 7, which gets me negative 49. And just like before, you'll see we have all these final answers. This time we have a row extra of final answers. So our new expression is going to be a little bit longer because I have a lot more terms. So circling all my final answers so I know what I'm going to bring down to add together. I have negative 4x cubed, or 4 to the fourth, well, positive 2x cubed plus negative 7x squared plus 8x cubed plus negative 4x squared plus 14x plus negative 28x plus 14x plus negative 49. A lot more terms this time, which means we're probably going to have to combine like terms. So let's look. I have some x cubes. I have some x squared. I'm going to underline these instead. And then I have, I'm going to box these, some normal x's. And then there's no other x to the fourth, and there's no other constants. So when I simplify, I'm going to go ahead and get negative 4x to the fourth plus 10x cubed because I have positive 2 and positive 10x to the third. I get negative 39x squared because I have negative 7 plus 4, which is going to be negative 11x squared, plus negative 28, which is going to be negative 39x squared, plus 28, because I'm adding 14 and 14, minus 49. All right, pause in this video if you need a little bit more time to go from the new expression to the simplified. If not, we're just going to go to the next slide. All right. So you still have some more practice to do. Go ahead and try it on your own using the notes in this video. I personally think the box method is a lot easier. It might seem intimidating, but it's really breaking down the distribution into something more visual and I think easier to understand. So if you need any more help with the box method, feel free to text me or go to anyone's office hours on Zoom. Some block opportunities, send me a picture of your work on practice round 2 so I can see all of your work using the box method. And if you've watched this video, you can send me pictures for blocks as well. Tomorrow we're going to practice all the different methods and kind of figure out what method is your favorite, and you'll be able to practice only that one tomorrow. It doesn't have to be every single method, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thank you for learning with me today.